Hey guys! So today I wanted to discuss some of the things I wish I knew before going to university, and I thought it might help a lot of you that maybe are still in university. I thought I would just start with giving you guys a brief overview of my journey. As maybe some of you know, I am an international student coming from Hong Kong, so the moving in process is probably a lot more different than if you are already living in the UK. But I got lucky enough to be able to pay EU fees, which is like not everybody. I was in a French school in Hong Kong, and yeah, I had to take multiple planes in order to get to uni, so it might not be the same experience as for everyone, but for people who are coming to from Hong Kong, I definitely, or just internationally in general, I do recommend having a parent coming with you. I know not everyone has that opportunity, but for me, my mom came with me, and it made things so much easier because when you first come into your room, it's pretty damn empty and you're probably not going to bring everything, so it's nice to have a parent to be able to not only pay for the different things that you'll be needing, because I'll get onto freshers afterwards, but you're not going to be having that much money, especially if you don't have a bank account open yet. Most people tend to open it in the first week of university, and often freshers is going on at the same time, so it's best to have a parent that's paying for maybe pots and pans that you can't bring from the international. That's definitely one of the first things that I would recommend. If I haven't mentioned it already, I go to Loughborough University. I study psychology, and I'm a first year student, so I've been here for around 5 months, maybe a bit more than that. Another thing that some people may want to know is the difference between a campus and I guess more city university. Loughborough is definitely a campus university, so initially I was going to go to UCL, but then I missed my grades, so I think coming here was definitely a lot more different than what I expected, because I expected to be in London, be in a city university, and now honestly I am pretty glad that I'm here, because the fact that we are in a campus university means that everyone we meet is mostly that is our age, is mostly from the university, so it gives you a lot more opportunities to meet people and get along with people and just have things in common, which might be a bit more difficult. And based on what I've heard from my friends that are in university, it's a lot harder sometimes to make connections because there isn't that much of a social aspect to the university. Hey guys, I'm currently editing, and I just thought that it would be important to just add that I meant that some of my friends find it a little bit harder to form connections in universities in the city because they tend to not have as many social activities for the students, but it's not to say that there aren't any and that you're not going to have a good time or enjoy your time there. So just thought I should put that out there because it did sound like that's what I meant. For us, our students union is absolutely great, so I definitely recommend it, and definitely sign up to clubs and societies. I can't recommend that enough. And for Loughborough, it's definitely sport based, so if you can get into any sport, definitely do it because it helps a lot. And just for meeting people and staying active and not just being alone in your room, because trust me, the first few months of uni you do not want to be alone in your room. It sucks. So now let's get on to freshers. So the first thing I have to recommend is bring cash, because you most likely will not have a bank account. And I was lucky because my mom actually didn't bring any cash, but we had opened an account from Hong Kong that was linked to their account, so I could use that as a sort of debit card for the first 2 weeks of freshers before I got my bank account. But the first week, for sure, making an appointment, maybe this is just Loughborough, but getting an appointment to a specific bank can be very difficult if a lot of people are booking at the same time, which is most likely everyone. Maybe if you're in London or something like that might not be as much of an issue because there are more banks. But for us, definitely I'd say bring some cash, and I would say a fair amount depending on how much you party, how much you go out, especially because freshers is definitely a lot of drinking, and I'd say prices are not exactly reduced during freshers. If anything, they're more expensive. So I'd say bring at least 200 pounds just so that you're safe. It kind of also depends on whether you're catered or not catered, but you know, just bring 200 pounds and that should, you know, be all right. Then another thing I have to recommend is being safe, especially if you're a girl. Like, make sure that you get home with your flatmates, that you know someone, and always go home by yourself. Loughborough is not by yourself, with other people, what am I saying? Loughborough is definitely very safe, so I'm, in general, especially the first few weeks, because people are very drunk, because people are getting absolutely hammered with alcohol and maybe even other substances, I would definitely say be very safe, go home with friends, and unless you're like ready to, I guess, hook up with someone, I wouldn't say go back with someone, because that's most likely what they're gonna expect. As for guys, I guess don't drink that much, still be aware so that you're not puking somewhere. Make sure you also have friends that have to take care of you in case you get sick as well. But yeah, I'd say that freshers as well, for us it was for 2 weeks, so if you went super hard the first week, the second week you were absolutely dead. And we had our second week of freshers during our first week of classes, so that was very tough as well. So just make sure that you pace yourself a little bit, don't go too hard in the first few days and then end up not enjoying the rest of freshers, because freshers is very fun if you actually go. And you know, even if you don't want to drink, I'd still suggest going out and, you know, making sure you have a good time, meeting people. It's like one of the only times you get to say hello to absolutely anybody, and you know, you can get away with it. It's not weird. So I would say do that as much as possible, because you will meet people, and if you know, remember who they are the next morning, then most likely you might actually start speaking and becoming friends with them. I made a lot of friends that way, especially in my hall. So make sure that you get involved in all the activities so that you actually meet people, because trust me, like, if you don't meet people, it can get very lonely very quickly. And I have a specific tip for remembering people's names, because I wish I'd done this from the beginning, but if you get someone's like Snapchat or Instagram, just message them with how you met them and how you remember them. Even if they don't get it when they read it the next morning, at least they'll be like, oh, okay, this is who she is. Like, for example, if you meet a girl in the bathroom and, I don't know, she wore this very like pink fluorescent top that you really remember, just text her and be like, the sweet girl I met in the bathroom with the pink top, for example. And then in that sense, you'll be like, oh, okay, maybe she will also be able to connect that situation and be like, oh, okay, I remember who that is. So that way you don't lose track of how many people you're adding, because the first few months, the first week, especially freshers, you're adding a lot of people on Snap that you just meet, and definitely being able to put, you know, a description to that name and like a face to that name helps a lot. And then of course, obviously, like, there's a very big hookup culture. English people tend to drink a lot and aren't really shy to hook up with each other, so you know, if that's not what you want, just be aware of that and be safe. Again, if that is what you want, have fun, do whatever you want. Nobody cares what you do during freshers or, you know, any time during the university either. So it's really your time to be as free or, you know, or not as you want. So it's really up to you, but just make sure that no matter what happens, be safe, use contraception, because a lot of people can get STDs. It is a thing. So, you know, especially during freshers, everybody's hooking up with everybody. So just be very safe when it comes to that. The next thing I want to talk about are halls. So my hall specifically, because I was an insurance student, I didn't get to pick my hall so much. So my hall is not an ensuite, it's like a shared bathroom, shared kitchen, and I'm also catered. So for a lot of people that might be like a complete deal breaker, but I have to say, like, my floor specifically, we have like not really flats, they're more like floors. A lot of the other halls have flats, so if that's what you prefer, just look it up quickly. But my floor is like the only floor of only girls, so in that department I felt like I was lucky, but also not, because in some ways I felt like I wasn't really meeting any guys just to even have as like friends. So that was like one thing that I thought was a bit annoying. You can't really get close to them on that level. But having girls is another like thing that's really cool, because then you can just like pop in and out of the shower in just a towel and not give a shit. If some people, you know, are a bit more of like, you know, prudes, don't want to show off that much, that's fine too. But I don't actually have a problem with it. I've actually never encountered a moment where I thought the bathroom was completely dirty and I didn't want to take a shower there. it's mostly like very clean. Like they clean it 3 times a week, I'm pretty sure, like in depth, but like every day as well. So honestly, like it's not ever dirty, and I've never come across a moment where I was like, oh, I can't get in the shower because there are people in the shower. Like there are enough showers, like no one is coming, you know. There's never a lack of space. So there's that. And also every single shower is like separated by a door and like is completely enclosed. It's not really like a locker room situation, which is really nice as well. I thought it would be more like that. So in that sense, I'm not too bothered about it for sure. Like it would be nice to have an ensuite, but it honestly doesn't take that much time out of my day to walk to the showers. Like it's literally down the hall, not even. So in that sense, I don't specifically regret it. It definitely helps with the bills. Like you're paying a lot less. It's not that bad having shared showers. I think that's the point I'm trying to get to. For the kitchens, everybody gets a specific like locker, and like if you look at my uni vlog tour, you'll see like really quickly what our kitchens look like. Now I have to say our kitchen is one of the worst kitchens that we have on campus. I don't know, like other people often have like tables, chairs, all that. We don't have any of that. Our refrigerator is literally tiny, and it can be really annoying, I guess, because we're catered. They expect us to not use it as much, but it's still very frustrating because we still have to cook for ourselves during lunch for one. And if you're like me and absolutely hate the canteen food, then yeah, you want to be able to fill up your fridge with actual food. Like you don't even get a drawer each. Like it's really just fit in as much or little as you can, because it is literally always full unless people go home. When it comes to like catered halls, I personally don't really like the food there. We are catered like for breakfast and dinner, and personally breakfast passes, it's all right. Like they offer basically like a full English breakfast, and they also offer like pancakes and like what they call viennoiserie, but like they're not like, I don't know, if you're expecting like French standards, it's not gonna be good. Like it's really not. So honestly, what I would have is like the cereal and the milk, and then maybe like the bread and beans, which I know a lot of people are gonna come for me, but I actually do like it. But but yeah, they do have eggs as well, which is nice. But like again, it's not like my ideal breakfast. I usually tend to eat in my room. I eat oats, and that's often good enough for me. But a lot of people I know enjoy the breakfast. Dinner's sometimes a lot less. It really depends. Like some halls have really good food and then others just really don't. So it kind of depends on whether you're lucky or not with the hall that you get. I think because ours is one of the cheapest halls, the food is just like not as good. I personally didn't like it at all, and I tried for like the first 3 months to be able to eat there, but I just couldn't. So I would go back to my room and make my own food. So just like keep that in mind if you're someone who's very picky of your food, or someone who has like dietary restrictions such as being vegan or stuff like that. Like the food that they're gonna offer you, like they're gonna cater it to you, but it's not gonna be good. It really just depends. But yeah, that's what I have to say. Like if you want to be self-catered, I definitely go for it. It's definitely a lot less that you're paying as well for it. So, but you know, keep that in mind that most people tend to go for self-catered. So if you want to get a self-catered hall, you definitely have to apply early. Now, as for classes, something that I completely wish I knew was that I wrote my slides before lectures, because often what they do is that they give the slides to you, like they make them available to you so that you can, you know, look through it or whatever it is that you want to do with them. But I use a laptop, so the first thing that I do is that it's a lot, I always notice that whenever I write my slides beforehand, it's a lot better and it's a lot easier to listen to what the lecturer is actually telling you rather than writing it at the same time and also writing what's on the board. So you just don't really have the time to do all of that in a lecture. Like it goes by really quickly. And I think that's just like a very big tip that I wish I knew at the beginning, because I was struggling trying to type down everything. Another tip is go to all your lectures, or at least try to. I didn't go to all my lectures, I'm not even gonna lie, but the ones that I didn't go to was either because I was lazy or because I didn't like the way my lecturer taught. So for the ones where I was lazy, I really regretted it, because not only did I feel like I missed out on content and information that I actually do enjoy, I kind of feel like, oh, that was a waste, like I could have just gone there and really enjoyed my time there, but instead I just stayed in bed, which is like one of my regrets. Not only do you have to catch that up for exams, but it's also like, it was really interesting. So while I was going through it, I was like, oh damn, I wish I had to hear, like I heard like what he had to say about it as well, because when it comes to exams, you don't exactly have the time to go back and do lecture recap all the time. So that's, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like basically a video of the lecturer speaking and the slides as they go by. So yeah, you just get to see what they said in class, but because those are 2 hours long, because you get 2-hour lectures, don't always have the time to be doing that. I do have to say though that if you feel like the lecturer isn't bringing anything more to the slides, and I've had a lecturer like that, he wasn't very good at saying anything more than was on the slide, and just like wasting time, in my opinion. That's how I saw it. It was a bit of a waste of time. So what I did instead is that I just learned the lectures on my own in my own free time. I didn't even bother to listen to his lecture recaps because it wasn't entertaining or interesting anyways, and he spoke very slowly and had a lot of pauses. So honestly, if you really feel, but you have to go to the first few lectures to find that out. If you feel like he's not a good lecturer, then you can do it on your own if you feel like that's best. But in most scenarios, go to all your lecturers. They know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about, and often they have a lot of insight to give. Last tip for classes, I guess, is the reading. I personally didn't do all the reading, so it kind of depends. Just make sure that if you don't understand something, do the reading. But if your teacher, for example, explicitly says that the reading is not assessed, if you feel like you don't need to do it, don't do it. But if it is assessed, definitely do it, because it will be in the exam. Like if they say it's assessed, it is assessed. So just make sure that you do it strategically. I know for a fact that the first few weeks I tried my best to do reading, and some of them it was just so boring, and at the same time it just like wasn't even necessary because I got the topic without even doing the reading. So the reading is only to like really be able to understand what is going on if you don't already. So if you don't understand something, do the reading. If you do, don't. And if you need to, do it, because it will come up in the exam. And then final thing is about coursework. So I definitely would say that I wish I knew that I had to be a lot more organized with it. The first coursework that I had, I was so stressed about it that I was very organized, because I was a bit neurotic about trying to get everything done so that I wasn't late on anything. This was the first coursework we had to give in, so I really didn't want a bad grade. So in that sense, I was organized, but the second one that I had, I was a lot less organized, and my grades kind of reflected it. Like I didn't get a bad grade because I still try to be very thorough with my work, but it definitely wasn't the best that I could do because I left it so last minute. So I would definitely say make sure that you know what the coursework is asking you to do. So do all that research, then start, try to see if you can get feedback from like either your tutor or something like that, then. But if you can't, like, just do your best to look at the different guidelines, look at what your work is actually assessing you on. Really try to get that done on time so that you're not left last minute with this huge assignment. Especially in semester 2, you get a lot more assignments normally than a semester 1, because they kind of ease you into it. At least for psychology, that's how they did it. One thing I would say is IB definitely prepares you for that. You feel a lot more organized because just essay writing skills and all that, you get that from doing IB. So yeah, I don't know, I think that was something that definitely helped me a lot, and I kind of used that knowledge as well to help out some of my friends who didn't do IB. And yeah, I guess that would be like the most of my tips that I have, or like what I wish I knew going into university. I think those are all like things that are pretty important, I'd say, and things that you should keep in mind. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and give a comment. Let me know if you want more content like this, or more information about how to balance like either sport or work and all that. I can add that more into I don't know, like I guess another video I'll do more like maybe tips for when you're already in university and how to get more friends, stuff like that. I don't know, but let me know what you guys want. I just thought this would be helpful to people that are coming into university. So yeah, let me know what you guys want, and you know, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it's a bit long, but you know, I just thought I would include a few points that, you know, were necessary to talk about. So hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'll see you guys next week. One last thing I forgot to add is that my fitness or like get fit with me workout video part 2 is coming out next week, so just like keep an eye out for that, and I'll be doing more like strength workouts rather than just cardio, because I feel like I didn't have a lot of content to show you guys because I was at the gym alone. So this time I had a friend filming with me, and so yeah, you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. And when it comes to like, just like disclaimer, when it comes to like the arm workouts, I had no idea what I was doing. That was my first time actually doing it, but that's going to be part of my routine from now on. So yeah, I'm just trying to work on toning my arms. And if you guys also want to be able to see like a 2020 fitness goals, you know, or just like 2020 goals in general, yeah, I'll do that and get that up for you guys. So yeah, just let me know.